It's Thursday, so that means another episode of Build the Epic Titanic, today on Brickscale Studio. Welcome back to Brickscale Studio. My name is Jeff. Thank you so much for joining me today as we complete another 2 stages of our Epic Titanic build. So today we are going to be shifting gears a little. We have no hull pieces to work on today. We're going to be building our first funnel, which is super exciting. So we're going to bring back that smoke generator from issue 2 or 3, way back at the beginning. And then we're going to be working on the forward well deck. So let's get into the build. Okay, here's issue 11. Magazine here. All right, so it looks like we're going to be working on the first funnel, so this should be exciting. Remember, back in one of the first episodes, we had the little smoke generator. So I wonder if that will come back into play. All right, here's our parts pack. Again, remember we look for the 3-digit number. Okay, here are all of our parts. So let's just go over this really quick. We have a tank. We have a smoke generator holder. We have the grill. Funnel interior. Funnel plating. This is the funnel cap. A stay collar. I'm sorry, this is the funnel plating. This is the funnel itself. And then we have a filter and a spring, and then we have some screws. All right, so the first thing we're going to be doing is taking the filter, and we're going to be pushing this spring into the filter. So we are just pushing that in just like so. And then we want to insert this in the open end of the tank. So yes, that does have a little springy. All right, and then we need this piece. And then we do need to bring back our smoke generator from issue 3. Okay, so we want to take our collar. And there is a little notch here, so we obviously want to turn this over, and we want this oriented this way so that the wire comes out of the collar. And then we're taking our funnel interior right on there like so, making sure the wire is in that notch. And then we are securing that in with 2 EP screws. These are little silver screws here. Perfect. And then now we want to take this, and we just put this on the top. So we do not use any glue. So it says do not use any glue. The tank can be separated when you need to fill it with water. So that is going on like so. All right, we're going to set that aside for now. And now we're going to take our plating and our funnel, and that is going to go on. So on this side, there is a notch here, and you can see in the plating there is a notch. So obviously we want to make sure that the notch in the funnel and the notch in the plating match up. And then we are going to take DP screws, which are the teeny tiniest screws. So we're going to get out our 000 screwdriver here. And there are screw holes here. We're not going to be using all of them. We're going to be using every other one. So we're going to be using this one, and this one. So the first thing, the most challenging thing, is going to be getting these aligned, obviously. And like I said, these screws are insanely small. All right, that is that side in. So then this one, we just want to just bring around until we get those lined up. This one's going to be a little trickier. Okay. All right, so that is it. So I do want to make a mention. If you do order this, they do send you a screwdriver kit as a free gift. So if you, because the screwdriver that comes with the kit is going to be way too big for these teeny tiny screws. So I'm imagining that's why they send this. I already had my own set, so I didn't use this, but this has a ton of different tips. So you can definitely find one small enough for these little screws. So don't worry there. All right, now we got those on. So it says to take the stay collar, which is this piece, and fit it on the funnel cap, which is this piece, so that the tabs on the inside of the stay collar fit into the broad slots on part 11H. So I'm assuming that is these. Note that the tabs and the slots are different widths. Also notice that the flatter side of the collar faces upward. Do not use any glue. Alright, so this is definitely the flatter side. And yes, they are different widths. Alright, cool. So there's a side with one hole, and there's a side with 3 holes. So it wants us to make sure that we have the side with the 3 holes face the same direction as the holes in our funnel cap here. And then we just, we turn this over. And then we are just going to put that in just like so. And now we're going to take our funnel. I want to make sure that I get the wire through the hole down there, which may be a little easier said than done. All right, there we got it. All right, so we have that in. Okay, and now we just want to take our little grill and pop it in just like so. So there are little notches in here that it wants to sit on. So just like so. And it says to go ahead to not glue it. We suggest that you use a little masking tape to hold it in place so you don't lose it. Okay, so we will follow their instructions and we will put a little piece of tape on there to hold that in. So that is our first funnel. So this is awesome. There is an important notice here. So if you are following along at home, it says the parts in this issue have been used to assemble the first funnel of your model. You should not fill the tank with water or test the smoke generator at this stage. The tester circuit and batteries give a very low voltage, which is not suitable for operating the smoke generator in the assembled funnel. We will give full instructions for filling the tank at a later stage. It is important that you can remove the tank from the funnel easily. Okay, so that is our first funnel. We are not testing it. And that's the end of issue 11. So let me put this aside. bring over issue 12. It's right here. And this more magazine here. And again, I can't stress enough, these magazines are, here we have part 3 about the band. So the articles continue from magazine to magazine in some cases. So this is one of the first Titanic movies from 1953 with Clifton Webb, Barbara Stanwyck, and Robert Wagner. You may recall, if you're of a certain age, Robert Wagner, do you remember the show Heart to Heart with Robert Wagner and Robert Wagner and Stephanie Powers? They were a married couple that were like detectives or spies or something. But yeah, Robert Wagner. He was also married to Natalie Wood. Again, if you're of a certain age, that may mean something to you. If not, never mind. Okay, so it looks like we are going to be working on the forward well deck. So we're going to be attaching some more of this veneer, so I need to get some glue ready because we're going to follow that tip that we had from the first issue with the forecastle. And while I'm getting these parts ready, if you don't remember Robert Wagner, you probably certainly will not remember Barbara Stanwyck, but if you're of a certain age, or if you're a fan of classic Hollywood movies, you will recall she is one of the great leading ladies of the classic era. She did so many good movies. Gosh, so many off the top of my head. The Lady Eve with Henry Fonda. The Night Nurse with Clark Gable. Stella Dallas, which is just one of her most amazing performances. She was also in the television miniseries, and this would be, if you recognize Robert Wagner from the 80s, you may remember The Thornbirds, which was a television miniseries that was just everything in the 80s. Like, it was a major television event, and she was in that with Richard Chamberlain. Okay, so we have our parts ready, and I will stop boring you with Barbara Stanwyck information, even though you should look her up and check out some of her movies because she is an amazing actress. All right, so obviously this is just like the forecastle that we did in the first episode. There's an adhesive back. We want to line this up to line up the holes, but just like we did in that episode, I am going to get some glue out because we do not want this peeling up over time. So let me get some glue really quick. And again, I'm just using one of these cheap craft brushes. I think I got a pack of 20 of them for like $1.50 or something. Super cheap. All right, so let's get some glue on here. Yeah, I think that is going to be good. So I'm not going to overdo it with the glue. And the other nice thing about putting the glue down, it gives you, see here, this is already like peeling away from the adhesive backing. It's not even really sticky on this edge anymore. So, oh. So one of the nice things about using the glue is that it does give you a little layer of liquid underneath there that sort of allows this to float on there and helps you position it a lot easier. All right, so we got that in there. Perfect. All right, and now we are going to be adding, so we have a large well deck hatch and a smaller well deck hatch. So very, very detailed labeling here. And then we've got some CP screws that we're going to attach those with. So let me get those open. So the larger deck is going to go, and the little knot, or the little, they are offset. So you want it to go in just like that. And then we're going to put that in with 2 CP screws. And then, of course, putting these pieces in will also help hold this veneer down. And then we have our smaller well deck hatch, and it's going right in front. And it is going just like so. I don't believe... Yeah, you want to make sure there's 3 holes back here. So yep, you'll want to put it in just like that. And again, we're going in with 2 of our CP screws. Perfect. All right, so that is the forward well deck and the 2 hatches. All right, so that is it for issue 12. And so that is it for this episode. So let's move on to the LEGO portion. All right, here we are on the LEGO side. If you recall, at the end of last episode, we were working on this piece here. So we will continue that and attach it to the main section here. So today we'll be doing steps 76 through 90. Okay, and now we've got the other side. And that is it for the LEGO portion. And that's it for this episode. Okay, let's recap what we did in this episode. So here we have the LEGO portion, and then here we have the scale model portion. So on the LEGO side, we basically finished attaching these pieces. Very cool with the Titanic printed piece, very awesome. And then for our scale model side, we worked on this forward well deck with these hatches, and we assembled our first funnel. So that is it for this episode. All right, another 2 issues done. I really like that funnel. I think we are not quite done with it yet. I think we've got some sort of details to add to it, some piping and things. But a great start, and then getting started on that forward well deck. That's looking pretty sharp. So let's get into our summary really quick. See, so for the scale model, we completed 13 steps and used 14 parts. And for the LEGO side, we completed 36 steps and 106 parts. All right, so we are moving right along. Okay, so I know this is not a Golden Age of Hollywood channel, but I did mention the Titanic movie from the 50s with Barbara Stanwyck, and I was talking about her, and I would be remiss if I did not mention her amazing performance in Double Indemnity from 1944. That is probably one of the best known film noir movies of all time. So yeah, I don't know how it slipped my brain earlier, but I did want to bring that to your attention. Also, again, I know it's not a Hollywood podcast, but if you are into Hollywood film noir, Double Indemnity is based on a book written by James M. Cain, and he was very prolific, and Hollywood adapted his books a number of times. We had 1944's Double Indemnity, as I mentioned, and then in 1945, we had Mildred Pierce starring Joan Crawford. This was her first movie for Warner Brothers after she left MGM. She won the Academy Award for this performance. And then in 1946, we had The Postman Always Rings Twice with Lana Turner and John Garfield. So if you're interested, those are all 3 great film noir movies from the 40s. Amazing performances. 3 leading ladies that are just amazing. Barbara Stanwyck, Joan Crawford, and Lana Turner. How could you ask for more? All right, enough about that. So let's see what is coming up. Saturday, we should have some Batmobile back after 2 weeks break. I'm not sure that I will get the parts to continue on in order, but I do have some other parts that I received that are ahead that we can maybe build some components. If you did not check out the Mario Kart video from last Saturday. Be sure to check that out. I give a little more of a detailed update. Also, that Mario Kart build was awesome. So definitely check that out. So since I sort of went on about the golden age of Hollywood, I won't keep you any longer. So remember to please like, share, subscribe. It really helps the channel. It also helps drive up our subscriber numbers so we can give away more Lego. So definitely spread the word. And remember, happy building, take care, be kind to each other, and I'll see you soon.